Let's turn those email subscribers into happy paying customers. Timestamps below, along with some other helpful videos to building out the rest of your funnel and of course getting people to join your email list in the first place. So in this beginner's guide, we'll go through 3 automation sequences you can use with whatever software you've decided to use as your autoresponder to get people from, I don't really know who this person is, to a happy and engaged customer. Well, at least that's the goal. Not everyone will make it, but we'll do our best. So here is a diagram of the entire process. Hopefully they've entered their name and email or just their email on a landing page, and now it's time to deliver the lead magnet. So if you don't have that process set up already, after this video, go and check out the link in the cards and the description to a video that goes through how to create the lead magnet funnel. And the first sequence we have is going to be the rapport sequence. This is where we build rapport, trust, credibility, and a little bit of authority, just essentially showing people that, hey, we're not trying to scam you, we can actually be helpful. Then that will drive all of that traffic that just joined your email list to whatever your sales process is, whatever your offer is. And then after that, they're going to go through an onboarding sequence, and then they'll be dropped into your general broadcast list. So even if you just offer an email newsletter, the rapport sequence and the general broadcast list, you're still going to want to pay attention to. You can just skip the onboarding if there's no actual offer to be made yet. So let's go ahead and jump into the rapport sequence. What do you do with these first 3 to 5 emails? Well, what you want to do is, number 1, deliver the lead magnet. Very first thing. Whatever else you want to do, that's totally okay. We'll do that later. But first, someone just gave you their contact information in exchange for something, whether that's booking a strategy call, a free PDF, some sort of video. Send it to them immediately. Do not let anything else get in the way. And that's why this first email is yellow, because yellow is for lead magnet, right? So we want to make sure we've delivered that before we start talking about any sort of other offer. And what we want to do with this sequence for rapport building is to energize, empathize, and expand. So we want to energize them to take action on whatever we're offering them, but we also need to empathize with whatever roadblocks that they're currently struggling with, and then expand them so we show them that, hey, if you don't deal with the roadblocks that you have now, it's going to get a whole lot worse in the future, and you're never going to be able to achieve the results that you want if you don't address them. Now, of course, our solution is whatever our paid solution is, but we don't want to make people feel stupid if they don't buy our product or service. So here's specifically what we're going to do in each one of these emails. So after email number 1, where we've delivered the lead magnet, we're going to jump into a big roadblock. You want to talk about how hard a specific result is to achieve and debunk some common myths. So common myths are going to be buying objections. Now, what results or roadblocks should you talk about? Great question. Whatever your offer is, whatever you want to sell someone who just joined your email list, what does that offer allow them to do? So let's say this course allows you to grow a YouTube channel or make successful Facebook ads or get 6-pack abs, right? Whatever that result is, you want to talk about some things that get in the way of people achieving that result. And that's what you want to do in this email. Then the second email, you want a hero success story. So the results up here, most people are down here. You want to share a story of a client, yourself, or you can point to someone else in your niche or industry that they know of, where you say, hey, you know what? They were in a very similar situation that you were, and they had to overcome the same roadblocks and achieve the result, and they were able to do that. Now, in both of these emails, you want to make sure that any call to action to your sales message is in the PS section, because you're still building rapport. This is only the 3rd email that they're receiving from you, and so they are most likely still on the edge. Like, I don't really know if I can trust this person, this company, right? So we don't want to do any hard selling here. Well, yeah, anyway, you can do that in email 7 if you really want to. And then after these first 2 emails, we want to energize and expand. So we are going to be encouraging, talking about how it's possible to achieve the results that they're looking for, how it's possible to overcome roadblocks, and of course the solution to those getting the results that they're looking for. The solution to overcoming the roadblocks is the paid offer. Now, it's very important you don't list any features here. There's maybe 1 or 2 lines that mentions your offer. The focus should be on here's how close the results really are if you just overcome this, or here's how close the results are if you just do this simple thing or follow these simple steps. So even if someone doesn't purchase the product or service, it still needs to be encouraging to them and actually provide some sort of value to them. So I'll link up in the cards and the description to a video that takes a much deeper dive on the whole funnel process and includes some example emails as well. And once all these emails have been sent out, they might purchase the product or they might not. But whatever they decide to do, they're going to be dropped into your broadcast sequence. So we'll actually go through the broadcast sequence, and then we'll go through customer onboarding and wrap up with some best practices for how to actually optimize this entire process. So with your email broadcasts, these are going to be anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week. And the whole point is to build more goodwill with your subscribers and make paid offers. Please don't be afraid to make paid offers, but don't make a paid offer every email you send either. So this is going to be on the back end of whatever your funnel looks like. So once everything's said and done, everyone under the sun gets dropped into this broadcast list. And so with these emails, what you want to do is pretty much have one paid offer a week. You can probably go 2 in some niches, but at the maximum or minimum, just go with 1, and then you can kind of split test to figure out where a good point is, because the last thing you want to do is have people stop opening your broadcast because you pitch too much. So what we like to do is every email 3 or 4, we have some sort of offer. So sometimes we'll go a week where we don't have an offer, and that's totally okay. What's most important is you're focused on getting people to stay engaged with your broadcast, because if they're not opening your emails, then it doesn't matter how many offers you make if nobody opens them, right? So let's go through some examples of what you can do with your broadcast emails. In no particular order here, you can link to cornerstone content. So these are really, really long videos, blog posts, or really powerful podcasts that you think people would find value in or you're really proud of. And the next one is an aha moment. And this could be just sharing a personal story where you were dealing with some sort of roadblock, some sort of struggle, and how you came to some sort of revelation. It doesn't always have to be life-changing. Some of our emails just talk about how I went from a 2% conversion rate up to a 5 or 6% conversion rate. And the aha moment was just flipping a switch inside of one of the ad settings, right? So it doesn't have to be super life-changing. It just has to be relevant to your niche or industry and give people encouragement as they're going along the same path, the same journey, trying to achieve the results that you've already achieved. Now, the other great one to use is a industry update or news type email. Now, obviously, this one you cannot pre-write, right? This one has to be in real time, and it's essentially just saying, hey, did you see this or did you hear about this? And then give your opinion, and that's pretty much it, right? And in an era where you can't really say exactly what you think on social media anymore, this is a great avenue to share some things that you might not be able to share publicly with everyone. Now, this next one is going to be when you have a promotion or when you have a paid offer, just go back to the roadblock formula that you used in your rapport sequence and use that style of email. Talk about a specific result or a specific roadblock that you've overcome, a client has overcome, or you're currently struggling with. It's okay to admit that you're currently struggling with things. We all are, and offer something, either one of your offers, or if you're currently struggling with it, talk about an affiliate offer that you've been using to help you overcome it and how it's been helpful. Obviously, if you're currently struggling with something, don't offer your own product or service, because that's not going to make any sense. But it's great when you are offering someone else's product or service that's helping you achieve the result that your subscriber presumably wants to achieve as well. And of course, the final one here is just another piece of cornerstone content. So you're probably going to rotate through these a lot. And of course, you can come up with other styles of emails as well. So that does it for your rapport sequence, your broadcast sequence. The broadcast will just pretty much go till the end of time, or you can pre-schedule it like we have. And I think our broadcast ends after the first 3 or 4 months because we just ran out of emails, and we really should get on that. So speaking of getting on that, let's go ahead and go through the onboarding sequence, because this is an area that I think we can all improve on, and that is the emails we send to people who are actually customers. And of course, this applies if you have your own product or service. If you're just doing affiliate marketing, then you can go ahead and skip this sequence altogether. Now, the first 3 emails are going to ensure that someone is set up, ready to go, and actually starts using the offer or engaging with the service. As a digital agency, we have a onboarding sequence where we start collecting information and making sure that our client actually starts getting prepared for running the traffic, as opposed to us doing a bunch of work and then waiting on them to give us the information. So even if it's an online course, you want to get people inside it. You want to get people using it, because if they don't use and get value out of what they just purchased, they're much less likely to purchase again from you, right? Because you need them to see the value that you can provide, the results you can help them achieve. So our first email is simply going to give them access to whatever they just paid for, and then give them 3 to 4 tips on how they can maximize the value out of what they just purchased. Essentially, here's what you should do first, and here's your action plan for success. And then email number 2 is to choose 2 to 3 key deliverables out of your product or service and how they will allow them to achieve the results. Now, this might seem a little counterintuitive, like, wait, they already purchased, so why am I doing this? Well, you want to reinforce their purchase decision. It's part of the marketing psychology of why we see car commercials all the time, reinforcing it, not only getting people to buy, but also reinforcing people who just bought, which is a little weird and outside the scope of what we're talking about here. But essentially, we want to reinforce the decision that someone just made, saying, hey, you really are going to be able to achieve what you want because you've taken action, you've taken the first step. Now, email number 3 is all about handling self-doubt and objections. Essentially, you're giving someone a pep talk here, because maybe they get into the online course and they go, oh, there's too many modules. Or maybe you know that in module 2 or 3 that there is some sort of roadblock or sticking point that a lot of people have trouble overcoming. So just be transparent, address some of the concerns or some of that stuff that's going on in the back of their head, saying they're not going to be successful, and just call it out, put it in the light, and help them understand that other people have the same thoughts and that they can be successful. And then these next 2 emails, you have to be incredibly careful with, okay? So just take it with a grain of salt here. This is where you can offer a upsell. And the best type of upsell to offer here is something that makes it easier or something that makes it faster. And so this works really well if you have, let's say, a course and then you have some sort of mentoring or coaching, right? So it's kind of the next step up. But what you don't want to do here is diminish what they purchased in any way, shape, or form. So starting the email off by saying something like, hey, you already have everything you need to achieve XYZ. Right? And then you go into, but if you want to do it faster, if you'd like some more help, or if you want to do this other thing as well, then this can be helpful. But you need to make sure that in both these emails, it is incredibly abundantly clear, and you could just use that line that I just said, it's straight out of a lot of upsell scripts as well, that, hey, you already have everything you need to achieve the results that you want. And we want to help you get there faster. We want to help the process get easier. Or, you know what, people who like achieving XYZ, we found that after they achieve it, or while they achieve it, they also want ABC. And so here's ABC. But as you write these emails, make sure that in no way, shape, or form, and I'm saying this again because it's so important, do you diminish the value of what they just purchased or make them feel like they need something else in order to be successful in any way. Of course, the result that the course or the service is actually going to provide. So thank you so much for watching. Sincerely hope you got some value out of this video. And go ahead and hit that like button if you're still watching. Now, when it comes to actually optimizing this entire process, the best place to optimize, and I know this is going to be counterintuitive, but the best place to optimize is actually on the front end with your lead magnet funnel. Trying different lead magnets, trying different landing pages, and of course, coming up with new rapport sequences. So if you're looking for how to actually fortify your list growth and really take this to the next level, it's not writing new broadcasts. It's not obsessing over the onboarding sequence or upsell emails. And it's not even obsessing over how good your rapport sequence is. Really, the obsession should be on the front end on how you can increase the number of people coming in. Because most email marketing softwares out there don't actually allow you to A/B split test emails inside of automations. Pretty much things like Infusionsoft and ActiveCampaign are the only two that allow you to do that, and you're probably not going to pay them hundreds of dollars a month. So when it comes to actually split testing your emails, of course, keep in mind that focusing on split testing your broadcast sequence is actually going to give you the biggest return on your time. And of course, that is a distant second, a very distant second to testing new lead magnets, because figuring out what people want on the front end makes everything we just talked about a whole lot easier. So go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dive marketing tutorials just like this one, and some that are a little shorter. And until the next, keep building the business you love.